Welcome everyone to our live stream here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Pascal, aka Sparkle Horse. That's just my name here on lichess. I am not the original Sparkle Horse. We are Sladgie on Twitch and Poker Stars. Rest in peace. But anyway, Sladgie is my nickname. International Master William Pascal. Guys, we're gonna do our subscriber stream, what I call the subscriber stream, loosely, because everyone's welcome to watch. We're doing game analysis. It's Thursday night. I'm gonna pour myself a beer. Beer night. Every night is beer night. Every night is beer night. How's social distancing at bowling, Mr. Coffee? By the way, do you still have bowling leagues with pandemic going on? Just popped in my head. Gotta make sure you clean your ball. To use wipes. Wipes on the ball. Alright. Anyway, enough jokes for today. We don't want to go there. Alright, guys. I'm just getting myself mentally ready for this. It's been a long, hot day, and I'm suffering from sleep deprivation due to mosquito attacks. We had a large increase in local mosquito populations. Every night I try to sleep. There's always some that are getting through. They're getting through the border fence. So I'm under attack relentlessly. Hard to get a good night's sleep. Bowling leagues, yeah, with senior citizens, probably not an ideal. Golf is probably hurt. At least golf is outside though. Golf is not a problem. Your computer updated Windows and crashed twice already within an hour. Not a good sign. What operating system? Are you Windows 10? Acerbate? Yeah, Microsoft is a disaster. We love Microsoft here. Alright guys, so we're doing game analysis from games submitted to me directly. We've got Bob, Princess Chess, Mr. Slow, Acerbate, Save a Dog, and Antony. I feel like somebody's missing from this list. You can do bowling online. Alright, just don't touch my ball, Mr. Coffee. It's a good thing Bob's not here for his first game. He'd be nothing but trouble. Let's do his game really quick before he gets here. I'm getting all these messages from random noobs. It's really annoying. Why am I on their mailing list? A few people are legit. I joined their clubs, but most of them not. So I'm getting a major increase in annoying messages from random people asking me to join their teams. Okay, so Princess Chess Bob. Here's Bob. 4 days ago. Sounds right. Warnaki. You can submit a late entry, absolutely. So Bob was in here. Updated analysis submission. The unnameable game. So I think AP87 put in a literal... I didn't mean the unnameable by some Italian author or something though. There was a Lovecraft story. But now I'm thinking it wasn't the unnameable. Can't remember. Alright, so this is Sparkle Horse versus Bob Sack, the unnameable game. Wait a minute, what is this? What is this? Oh, yes. That's right. You're retired from bowling, Mr. Coffee. You don't mean like permanently. Retired is a strong word. Welcome, Princess Chess 6464. Bob's entry is his, and my game. His and my game. It's not, though. He pulled the wool out from under your eyes, Princess Chess. At the last minute, he changed his submission. Perhaps, like, you've communicated that you're submitting his game with him. You know, you're submitting his game with you, so he got greedy and submitted another game. So he gets 2 games out of it, basically. Free rider principle. Yeah, he gets 2 games and you just get 1. Alright. Bob employing the free rider. Very important economic principle. You get on the bus, you don't pay for a ticket for free. Alright, so this is me against Bob from our last simul. I'm looking at Bob's perspective, but I play this variation for both sides. You said you've gotten as much out of it as I think you can. You should bowl an independent league, Mr. Coffee. I didn't realize you had to pay like national dues. You should start your own bowling league. That's a scam. Alright. Astrobate is right, by the way. Astrobate was complaining that he had to pay dues to play in the National Open. He would have to pay like state and national dues to U.S. Chess Federation. I don't know if Princess Chess and Mr. Coffee, you've both directed or been involved in organizing and directing tournaments. At least the club level. They used to have this thing where you didn't have to join USCF. You could just join for like one tournament. Do you know if that's still possible? Because like it's crazy, like for Astrobate to play in the National Open. If you play one tournament a year, it's like criminal to make you. They have it sort of. That's exactly the answer. I was hoping to clear it up. I'm tier 2 sub, so I get extra privilege, right? Yeah, when you misbehave, HTFP, your extra privilege is just getting timed out instead of banned. I'm just kidding you, buddy. Can we do my game next? Absolutely. Thanks for the decisive answer about that one, Mr. Coffee. It doesn't work for national tournaments. Maybe just club tournaments. Because it's crazy, like, to pay whatever, you know, $50 or however much USCF is now. If you're just going to play in one tournament, you know, it's like kind of a rip-off. Alright, C5, knight C3. Bob is black. And now I played E3. I play a mix of E3 and G3, typically, when I'm white. But E3, now Bob plays what I play, which is G6. I have the feeling Bob pays attention and he probably copied me. Or maybe he just got lucky. But now D4. And now black has no choice. I've seen a lot of people misplay this position. I wonder one question though. Could black possibly play bishop G7 here? Wonder how bad it is to play bishop G7. If bishop G7, D5, probably knight A5. This is what I call the Solancy variation. My friend Emil plays this type of stuff. USCF is 40. It's not really advertised. It's a $20 one-time fee. Interesting. So you're basically better off just paying for the membership at that point. I got you. So it's possible to play like bishop G7, knight A5, but I don't trust this variation all that much for black. I guess it's possible. So Bob played correctly. Pawn takes pawn, D5. I've seen a lot of people misplay and play like D6 here. Immediately white has clear advantage after D5. It's surprising how I've seen even IMs do that. So D5. And now white has a couple tries, but it seems like this move, bishop e6. You can't always trust the lichess opening explorer for your analysis. Yeah, Warnaki a5, but knight a5. Guys, don't forget to donate and subscribe to support the stream. Number one move here is knight e4, but actually this is the best. I played this. Yeah, Princess Chess, if you live in the United States and you're a chess player, a lifetime membership can be a good deal. I know a couple people. The Weed Master did that. My friend Joe, International Master Joe Fong, he bought a lifetime membership back in the 90s or something like that. It's a good deal. HCFP, thanks for the donation, 100 bits. Man, you probably paid more, Mr. Coffee. 900? I don't remember Joe paying that much. Alright. Maybe title players get a discount. I don't remember how much it was. I didn't think it was 900. It might have gone down. That doesn't make sense, though. Anyway, bishop e6 is the best there. So I played the main line. Pawn takes pawn. Knight takes pawn. Queen b3. And now Bob knew what he was doing, and he played e6. When I first saw this variation, I thought it was really scary. Like, there's a lot of weak squares. And, you know, black is in the center of the board with the king still on e8. But this has been proven by some high-level games that it's actually really okay for black. I won a game in February or January against the Indian girl, Prodigy. Can't remember her name. She was like 2,000 player, FIDE 2,000 player playing an IM tournament. But she played really, really tough. Actually, I was white against her. So I'm lying. I haven't played this in a while. I played a game against one IM a couple years ago. I held with black. I played a lot of games. I was white against the girl I was talking about. So I played this position for both sides. There's two moves, bishop e5, which I played, and bishop g5, which is also interesting. The other day against Bob, it was bishop g5, queen a5. So Bob's the first person who I've seen play this. Now, I don't know. I'm suspicious. Bob may have just gotten lucky here, or he's cheating with the opening explorer. I don't trust Bob 100%, although I've never known him to cheat. This is an unusual looking move. It's possible queen b6 is a move. It just occurred to me. A third possibility. Because if knight takes d5, we take on b3. Maybe we just take on d5, actually. Yeah, I mean, so queen b6 is a third possibility, needs to be examined. There doesn't seem to be anything clear here. It's just another reason to play bishop b5. I've played this move every game where I've been white. But Engine doesn't think that white has a real advantage. There have been some interesting games. Grishuk. Maybe Nepomniachtchi lost with black. There have been some high-level games in the last couple of years. But there's no ultra liquidation here, Warnaki. The most boring line is bishop g5, bishop e7, bishop h6, bishop f8, bishop g5, bishop e7. But f6 is also possible if black wants to play for a win. This move is actually difficult to crack. This to a beginner. Oh, Ben Feingold says don't play f6. Don't believe everything that you hear on YouTube. F6 is a very vital move in this type of structure. This is extremely important. Controlling key squares. The king will go to f7. Black is sort of castled on the shoulder of the board here. It's basically like castling on f7. You got your 3 pawns in front of the king. Everything's cool, you know. Not so easy to get at the black king. So anyway, this is my first time facing this. Bishop g5, queen a5. I couldn't remember, but it turns out no high-rated players have played this. I had some weird hallucination that Caruana had a game in this line, but I don't see it in the list here. So, decent players, but no one special has played this with black. So I played bishop d2. That turns out to be the best. And now, Bob just played queen d8, which is sort of silly. I'm not threatening anything, you know. If knight d5, queen d5. Bob's only weakness is tactics. So he shies away from the threat of the bishop on d2 and retreats the queen back. Swapnil has played both sides. It's a decent player from India. Queen d8, bishop g7. White doesn't really have a threat. If knight b5, queen d8. Maybe white has like knight b5 and queen a3? Could this be a thing? I wonder. Then bishop f8. You know, so it's nothing. We would just go here. And black is fine. It looks like black just maintains the balance. So queen d8 was unnecessary retreat. We had white to play. Bishop b5. Bishop g7. And there's a couple games here. White played bishop g5 and queen a3. Queen a3, okay, maybe just forces him to repeat moves. Also on queen a3, I mean, he could play queen e7. That was the game. Black doesn't really have a problem here. Warnaki says, sending your late entry. Highlight my message 380. Thank you, Warnaki. Got you. Alright, we got time. Guys, we're doing game analysis for the subscribers to my stream. Warnaki. So it's a tricky position. Isolated queen pawn. And again, I play this line for both sides, though I've never played queen a5. It's interesting to analyze. So it looks like the bishop g5 or castle. d4 is not hanging yet, so I just castled. According to Opening Explorer, this hasn't been reached. We could check on the lichess side. No games. The players on lichess don't play real chess anyway. In bullet chess, it's mostly bullet chess. So this is a new position. So far, Bob's queen d8 may have been a little slow. So after he castles, he's threatening d4. And I don't really know what I was thinking here. I lost my concentration. I really did. Because in the normal lines, this is the standard plan anyway. I'll play bishop takes c6 and then play knight a4. And I probably have an improved version of the position. Because I've got the move bishop d2 now, which actually looks pretty good. This bishop is on a really useful square. The chess tempo database, I've used 365 chess, which I think is probably similar. Yeah, it's fine. They're probably the same. Chess tempo or 365 chess. I have the feeling that it's third-party stuff. Probably the same as lichess. I would just guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not like lichess created that database. My guess, honestly, Warnaki, would be that they're all third-party, you know, company is providing those databases to all these chess sites. You might just get the same database. You know what, though? Maybe not, because every time I log into that site 365 chess, there's like a message. I was there the other day. They have a message like latest games, latest tournaments downloaded or something. So that seems like they may be more up to date. I'm really not sure how it works, but I think that your best shot is like a you know, chess-based program or chess-based if you want to get it. But those sites are probably as good or better than lichess for the database functionality. Anyways, I don't know what came over me because this is the normal plan. For some reason against Bob, I lost my concentration, and it's a simul, and I didn't play bishop takes c6, but that's the whole point. I play bishop takes, I give him the bishop pair, but the bishop is limited. You know, it has a big problem getting out. I play this with black a lot, and I really like to play c5 if I can get it, but it's hard to get in c5. Thus knight a4, maybe even knight e4. Is interesting. I'm not sure if it makes a big difference, but I messed up and I played a very silly move here, bishop e3. Just, how can I defend my d4 pawn? This doesn't contribute anything to my position. Negative value move. Because it loses time, it also takes bishop off of a5. Now Bob is okay. Bob plays a weak move in return, a6 also. Not really a valuable move. Weakening squares and not contributing that much to the black position. Now it's crazy. I mean, I don't believe I didn't take here. I was just totally out of it mentally. Obviously I should take, but I was playing quick. It was a simul. I didn't know I was playing Bob, by the way. This is important also. I'm just playing on Zen mode. I don't know who my opponent is. I play bishop e2. Now b5, that seems like a reasonable move to me. Trying to solve the problem. You might consider b6, which is less weakening. Guys, I fear yo. You pay a monthly to ChessBase and you don't use it. You absolutely silly astrobate. You don't really need that. You're not studying opening theory a lot. No, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You're not that advanced in terms of studying opening theory. I don't think you need it. But maybe b6 is safer than b5. Okay, b5, and then knight e4, because this is taking away a4. I wanted to go for e4, and I played knight e4. And now the computer found some kind of line where I think the engine was saying that he can play f5, which I missed tactically, and Bob missed because he's kind of a safe player, so he probably didn't want to weaken the structure. But the point is, after something like here, 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 as you can see, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too easy for me to defend my d4 pawn. We have a serious problem. So the anti-positional f5, f4 is very strong. And ironically, that's a move that lost me a game 2 weeks ago. The exact same thing cost me a game where I underestimated f5, f4. f5, it's an ugly positional move, but why not take the bishop? Taking the bishop is kind of overrated. You know, it's a bad bishop, it's tied down to d4, and the knight on d5 is very strong. In the grand scheme of things, this knight on d5 might be slightly stronger than that bishop on e3. You can take the bishop if you want to, but you also repair white's pawn structure to some degree. So it's not an automatic call. I wouldn't say it's a bad move for black to take the bishop. It's a different way of playing the position, but I don't think that it's clear. But I would play f5, f4. So he misses it, plays this sort of bad move. I mean, rook e8 doesn't contribute much to black's position at all. It doesn't contribute to his development. It doesn't put pressure on my position. I overprotect d4. Still, he should probably do f5, but at least now I could play like maybe bishop c1, and my rook would protect d4. If I had to. So I guess rook d1 is okay. Bishop f8. Bob's playing very passively. Now the c5 support point is weak. Here, here, and obviously knight c5. And now he takes, and then another thing that I didn't see, which I would have seen had it been a longer game, was how strong it was to take with the pawn here. I think that Bob has screwed this up. He's weak in c5. Now his dark square bishop, his good bishop, is going to have to go. And this is actually pretty nasty on the d file. And I have an extremely strong pawn passed on c5. I just sort of automatically took with a rook on c5. I like the c file. I like having the piece on the advanced square, but objectively it was a mistake. I should take with a d pawn, and white is better. So I don't know what Bob should do here. Probably his whole plan is bad. The entire plan of playing bishop f8 and bishop b7. But I think because of this square, black is worse. He missed his chance to play bishop f5, f4. Here, 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 here. But this is a mistake to take with a rook. Now knight e7. And I double on the file, but I have no penetration. So it doesn't really matter much. He exchanges. Let's see. Rook c8, bishop d2. I realize now that my bishop is actually a strong piece. So I'm not going to let him exchange it. Knight f5. This was a good maneuver. The knight is actually very good, putting pressure on d4. Now queen d3, queen f6. He has a plan, putting pressure on the d4 pawn. And then things get interesting because I play knight e5. It's hard for him to get rid of this knight on e5. And he plays rook takes c5, which surprised me. Rook takes c5, you know, he's basically just sacrificing an exchange. So, I'm sorry, he's not sacrificing an exchange, sorry. This is just rook for rook. Rook for rook, rook for rook, rook d8. And good job by Bob. I don't mean to rhyme, but he's done a good job. He's got his bishop in the game, his knights are on good outposts, he's putting pressure on the isolated pawn, and I don't really have that many threats. And I became very aware of the possibility of knight h4. There's this serious pressure by black now. I wonder if I couldn't play g3. I mean, I was a little bit afraid of the long diagonal. But does white actually have anything here after g3? There are tactics with the d4 pawn. I mean, it could get really crazy, clearly. Yeah, I'm sorry for the arrows. I'm going to practice to become an NFL coach. But I played it safe with, what did I do? I played knight f3. Yeah, too safe. The computer says like bishop f3, but I was afraid of knight h4. I'm not a computer, but I knew that I didn't like this. So that's why I played knight f3. Passive but solid. And now knight e7. And now bishop g5. And then we get to tactics. So Bob's finally traded off his dark square bishop on c5, which I think was dubious. But now he's finally paying the price. Because I had a nice tactic here with rook f5. Bob's only real weakness is his tactics. He needs to do tactics puzzles and work, and it's easy to improve tactically. Just laziness. If you're weak tactically, now there's tactics puzzles everywhere, every chess site. It's so easy to get better. But I grab, and then he shocked me. I mean, clearly he should probably take here. Take, rook e8. And for some reason, I've had a lot of games lately with two pieces for a rook. It seems to be happening every day. But in general, two pieces for the rook is a serious advantage. White should probably be winning, but it's not that easy to convert. And Bob just went berserk with like rook takes d4. I was in time pressure. Even though I have 7 minutes, I have it across all these games. So 7 minutes for me is like I have to move inside of 10 seconds, not to lose on time. Take, and I'm up a piece. I'm just up a piece in this position. I'm not sure I realized. Queen g3, we've got a good threat here, here, and then here, and I'm just consolidated. And that b8 check. And I knew that I had bishop f1 to guard the back rank, so I'm winning. Queen b2, bishop h6 threatening. Actually, this is a blunder, apparently. Wow. I did not see this when I was analyzing the game. So I should have just played queen b8 check right away. And I'm just winning. I didn't realize I screwed this up. I looked at the game after the simul, but I'm up a piece here. Why is this a problem? I will have to check with the engine. There it is again, f4 again. I completely missed this. I thought I had bishop takes f4. Oh, my bishop's hanging. Wow, it's good I noticed that. I never even realized my bishop was hanging during the game or after. I had no clue my bishop was hanging, so I have to just play like bishop f1. So this is just a blunder in what was essentially time pressure, and Bob didn't see it either. Now he's just lost. And there's no hope. Alright, well, a couple blunders at the end there. You know, I hung a piece, basically, in mutual time pressure. So I got another game, and that guy just keeps sending me messages. That's annoying. Alright, team, stop sending me so many messages. Warnaki submitted a game. I'm going to do HTFP's game next. I think I got bit by a mosquito. We have mosquito infestation due to heavy rains the last couple of weeks. Not the last week, but before. It had been almost no mosquitoes the whole summer. They're out in full force now. Alright guys, where is HTFP? He requested to do the calling in a favor. Mr. Slowhand? He's in the list? Yeah. Mr. Slowhand's coming up. There's Save-A-Dog. King Crusher rating with party of 61. King Crusher, welcome. The legendary King Crusher. YouTube. The YouTube legend. One of the original chess streamers. What is up, my friend? Thursday night is my subscriber stream, so we're going over games, serious games here played by friends and subscribers. Submitted to me. What are you up to? Welcome to the Raiders. I'm International Master William Pascal. Thanks to King Crusher for raiding. I wish I would ever, have a chance to raid your stream, King Crusher, but I'm never. You're never on when I'm finishing up my streams. I would definitely love to return the favor. Alright, game analysis here from HTFP who has to go. HTFP is black. E4, C5, bishop C4. The so-called, what is it? Well, who cares what this is called? The Bodler attack. Stronger on move 3. I think King Crusher once played this against me, but I'm not sure. I think we had a game. I don't know if this makes sense to you, King Crusher, but I vaguely remember once you played a blitz game where it was like bishop c4. No. I'm wrong. It was c3. It must have been knight c6. No. It must have been d6. This was King Crusher. d6, c3. Knight f6, bishop c4. I think King Crusher played that against me. I had never seen anybody play that before. Slightly different variation. It was like a couple of years ago in a random blitz arena. But I think that you played that against me. But this is different. It's more justified to play bishop c4 on move 3. Once black defines his pawn structure. But I think it's not good to play bishop c4 on move 2. It's too early. Black can play the optimal setup if you play bishop c4. Black plays e6 against the bishop on c4. It's not that bad for white. It's playable. It's like a closed Sicilian. But it's better to wait, like Michael Adams used to play knight f3, d6, and then bishop c4. Also reasonable. You really want to see d6. Black's not setting up with e6 and stuff. Ricky 226, hi. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Raiders. Thank you again for the raid, guys. We're doing game analysis. This is bishop c4 right away. Knight c6 also not a bad move. because you can still play for e6, like a quick e6. Basically, white is playing like kind of close Sicilian against the English with bishop c4. Of course, he can still try to play d4. Now, black played knight f6. Davidog here playing knight f6. I am actually confused. Why are there so many games here? Okay, I've got it on lichess. I'm going to change the database to masters, and then we're going to see a massive drop. Nobody plays the boulder attack in real life, just on lichess. So, interesting move by HTFP, but I don't think that knight f6 is especially good. On e5, you have some interesting possibilities. You can play d5. I kind of like that. There's a game by Slavko Žižek. He's one of the only strong players in the world who plays the boulder attack. Good player. I think I've lost every blitz game I ever played against him. But knight f6, d3. And the knight at f6, I mean, I guess it's okay. But you really should play e6. Reasonable now. Alright. You can set up two different ways, e6 or g6, but I think e6 is probably the best against the bishop on c4. So knight f6 early. White just played knight c3. So now can you play knight takes e4? The big question here. It looks early to play this move. So we have the king crusher, like bishop takes f7 check. It's always a judgment call depending on the exact position if this type of move is good or not. I doubt that it's good though. It seems like black's center pawns are too strong. Takes, takes, knight takes. I mean, I think that Botvinnik would approve of black's position. Botvinnik played the English with white, and he played variations with the white pieces that were almost the same as this. The plan would be secure the pawns, play like g6, move the king over to g7, and keep the two bishops for the long term. Black has a strong center and the bishop pair. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Coffee. But, I don't know about this. Let's see. This, and then c4. I saw a game recently along these lines. Kokorev Smirnov from 2002. Black is slightly better according to the engine. That's believable. So there, Save a Dog. If this ever occurred, this is probably your best variation. If you just simply take on e4, white's position is probably equal. But this little move here, like c4, the wing flap down on the right, that's probably an interesting try for an advantage. So, anyways, Save Dog played it safe with e6. I think now you're really threatening knight takes e4. So, we see a bunch of games with d4, but not very good. It's a bishop c4 against the e6 Sicilian. So white should play something objectively solid here. d3. d3 looks okay. Mr. Slowhand just went nuts. Harishiva, Rockin' Eagle, Ocean Wisdom, The Real Gambit, Krina Sub, AAA, Ricky 226, Bozo the Clown, 99, MG Gustav, and Voragod. Thank you guys for being gift subbed. Thanks to Mr. Slowhand for donating insane amounts of gift subs. I hope that it's worth it. Mr. Slowhand, huge help to the stream. Thank you. Everything's good. You're up. I think you're up in 2 games for the game. But anyway, like, this is the way it should be played. White should support the center. He played a3. So while I think that your move is okay, we have to seriously take a look at knight takes e4 and decide which of these is better. 227 gift subs. Not in one day. Knight takes e4, knight takes e4, d5, and now bishop d3, something similar to the other variation. I suspect this is probably better even than what you did. And I'll tell you why. My problem is that this type of structure with d5, Asterbait plays the stuff with white. My problem is that the symmetrical structure comes up. You know, I have a hard time, I really have a hard time winning when we get this totally symmetrical structure. I don't think that it's optimal for winning for black. It's like you're playing the exchange French or something. So after maybe like bishop e5, I mean, black is better, I guess. It does look like d4 could be good. But queen e2 check and knight e4. My basic feeling is that it might be better to play knight takes e4. Like, this is more dynamic than doing d5. I mean, d5 is definitely good, though. You're at least equal. Take, and then bishop e2 is too passive. I think this should probably be okay for white. Like, bishop b5. We can make an argument that black is better in the long term. If you have to exchange, you give up your bishop on c6 or something. Brony, welcome. Thanks to Mr. Sohan for 10 gift subs, and to King Crusher for bringing the peoples here with a raid. Very much appreciated, guys. We're doing serious game analysis, Brony. No bullet chess. I hope you enjoy. So the game was actually take bishop e2. Now, we still got a symmetrical structure, but I mean, pushing these pawns is tempting. If d4, knight b1. Yeah, I'm always happy seeing the boulder, but I'm not crazy about the symmetrical structure, because we're going to have a limited advantage, or chances to play for an advantage without a dynamic pawn structure. d4, and now he played knight a2 like Richard Rapport. Okay, knight a2 is just from the Twilight Zone. Almost always a bad move. Knight a2, knight a7, knight h7, you know, knight h2. We don't want the knight on that square. The original square is probably better because it could get back in the game. It doesn't have a3, but at least get back in the game with d2. So my instinct here is that white isn't too bad. Move 11 just gifted tier 1 sub to Knight Nagini. Knight Nagini. Past Pawn just subscribed to tier 1. It's been a really crazy night. Thank you, guys. So this knight a2 looks suspicious. Bishop d6. But even so, I mean, it may not be that bad, but how is that knight going to get back in the game? Can somebody tell me, like, how it's getting back in the game? Knight c1 to b3? If you help him and you take, and he takes the knight on b4 and it trades itself off or something, that's fine. So you're playing against that knight now, HTFP. This is a horrible move. I mean, white has to play d3. And then I think something to limit his ability to trade pieces with like h6 would probably be optimal. And if white ever plays like b4, you think twice about taking, but just play like b6. And play against his knight on a2. I mean, in that particular position, maybe you can win a pawn. You know, I'm just hypothetically trying to say, make sure the knight stays out of the game. If you can win a pawn here with like take, then do it. You know, probably you want to do it. Exactly, Gromit. You don't want to. I want to say Gromit, like Wallace and Gromit. But But the thing is, like, yeah, you don't want to trade pieces when you have a space advantage. The knight is a huge problem. So what happened in the game was really bad, though. I mean, bishop d3, and then we're just rolling. White is like... White feels like he's close to lost. I mean, is it possible this move is overextending? Wow. So now he launches in for some calculations. Maybe it's good. I would just say, like, it's not bad to just play b5. b5, a4, a6. If d3 you're supported, I think you can maintain the pawn structure on the queen side and keep everything protected. And again, like, keep focusing on that knight on a2 being basically non-existent in this position. In the long run, it's a losing game. I mean, unless that knight can get back in the game miraculously. White is like a piece down. So this looks good too. This also looks good though. D3. You're gonna take twice here, trade on H2, then take on D3. A different approach. I would say you're letting the game get a little bit out of control. I would make sure I calculate this well. You are letting him free himself with exchanges. I don't know which way white should take with the knight or the king. Difficult to say. I'm not sure there's any grave danger to the king on H2. But when the smoke clears here, black is better based on pawn structure, development, and king safety. Minorly because of the H pawn being gone. There's an important factor that it's opposite color bishops now, which will sharpen the game. I think material goes down in value. Attacking on your color goes up in value. But the one downside here is that white's knight is going to get back in the game. You are not going to be able to keep that out of the game anymore. So you're exchanging advantages. Castle, castle, rook e3. I don't know where you should go. F5 is interesting. D7, maybe the most natural. White's pawn on the D file is weak. And now knight d4. So you've got this fork. And you've got bishop b3, and you're basically going for white squares. The first move that pops in my head is rook d8. But this move is more aggressive. And so d3. And you win the exchange. At the end of the day, I mean, maybe rook e3 was a bad move. Honestly. If I was playing this position with white, I think we should consider knight b4. He could trade a bad knight for a good knight. Screw the pawn structure. Actually, if you play this, he's even liberating his rook. So I would think that white would have had pretty legit chances to hang on here with knight b4. And we could argue that you made some kind of mistake there. Like, turn on the advantage meter here. Advantage meter says better for black even so by 1.4. But I think he's made strides at least. After castles, it's the best move. Yeah, knight b4 is number 1. It's a difference of like plus 1.5 or plus 2 or more. He's got to trade it off. This is a mistake. Maybe this is good. It's too late now. You're coming in with knight d4. So I guess now he should play knight f3 to prevent your move, knight d4. I'm not taking challenges today. We are analyzing our subscribers' games. Queen f5, knight c3, back in the game, knight d4, but then there's this problem. Big problem. So he's got to move the rook, it appears, or the queen. The only square, yeah, he can't move the queen or drop the fork here, unless, yeah, he's lost there. Unless queen a4 works somehow. No, you're threatening knight c2 directly. You're just threatening knight c2. He's got to move his rook. But where? He doesn't have a good square. What is this? Is this the only square? Like g3? g3 or h3? Here? Okay, probably white is lost. Now we pick up the exchange. So I'm wrong. I'm wrong. He has a defense. After knight c2, there's this. So it's not so easy. You played bishop d5, threatening the fork here, attacking g2. It's a good move. And he just blundered. So what happens after knight d5? That's a beautiful position, right? Knight d5, and then the unpreventable knight b3. Okay, turn on followers only mode, Mr. Coffee. Yeah, that's cool. So great game. After knight d5, knight d5, you'd be winning. Bishop d5, he blunders, and then knight b3, you win material. No defense. Yeah, it was a pretty clean game. The boulder's not a good system, but it's good enough like for equality if white is careful. Again, it's basically, the system for white is basically the closed Sicilian in reverse. And mate. Okay, thanks for the game. Guys, next I'm going to do Princess Chess, Mr. Slow, Astrobate, and Antoni and Warnaki. That's what we got on the list. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for King Crusher's raid. We got Rob Bear California 2. What's up? So Mr. Slow, thanks for the donations. Yeah, it was instructive though, HTFP, and I think there were some interesting questions. So you may think this was just a weak player and not an interesting game, but that opening is very common. Most people have to deal with it, and the questions about how to play it are very relevant. So thanks for submitting it. I got another game from Princess Chess a while ago. International Master. Still, they haven't taken my title away. What are we doing? There it is. Alright. A 3-0 game. What do we got from you? Here's something different. A 3-0 game from the Sunday Streamer Battle. Oh. Wait. That's an old one. Am I crazy? Let's check with Princess Chess. Didn't you submit your game with Bob? I'm confused now. So which one do you want to do? Is Princess Chess still here? Maybe they're working. Which one do you want to do? This one? Because now I don't know where the Bob game is. That's the one you submitted for tonight. All right. Yeah, I thought Bob had submitted your game. That's the confusion. All right. For Thursday analysis, that's an old one. What did I do now? I clicked on the wrong one. Here we go. All right. From the Streamer Battle. 3-0. My favorite time control, not. Too fast. Can't play a quality game in this time control. You can try. Okay, so it's Princess Chess 2110 against Vlad Destroyer Provisional. Oof. Princess Chess, what did you do to them? Vlad Destroyer is now account closed. Is it me or is that just suspicious? So I've practiced this against Princess Chess. We had a game a couple weeks ago where I played d5. And she wasn't particularly well prepared for this opening because you don't see it very often. E takes d5, knight f6. d4. Yeah, I mean, I like d4. I play this move myself. The principle of the opening, right? Why is white better in this position? Because of this pawn. I think it's better not to be materialistic. Don't try to take the pawn. The variations where white tries to take the pawn and hold on to the pawn, you know, c4, bishop b5 check. I play actually bishop d7 and knight on bd7 here. But I think that d4 is best. Give the pawn back, but you have the superior center now with d4. I think this opening is similar to Alyekin's defense because black is taking with the knight on d5 and it often goes to b6. But white's advantage is almost like bigger than Alyekin's defense. If you consider the Alyekin's defense like e4, knight f6, e5, knight d5, d4, then we play like d6, and after knight f3. When black takes here, I think this structure is extremely similar now. But I think this variation is one of the easiest for white to play, honestly. White just has a strong pawn on d4, space advantage. Black has to find a way to equalize by playing, you know, against and undermining white's center on d4. So I feel like it's a good Alyekin. This is good for white. Believe me, I played this variation a lot for black. Maybe the trickiest is the Portuguese Gambit, honestly, which I never really got into. My old friend and great poker player Elon Schwartz used to play this for black, and I remember analyzing a game of his from the Vienna Open in 1996. It was crazy, but originally it was these Portuguese players, Damaso and some others, who pioneered this. But I think this is the only really interesting try to complicate the game. And if you don't play f3, you don't get enough. If you play knight f3, you transpose some kind of quiet variation. If you play bishop e2, you don't really get an advantage. You allow exchange of pieces. It's safer for black. So you kind of have to go into these sharp gambit positions with f3, bishop f5. So I would study that princess chess. That's the variation that's going to cause you the most trouble. It's probably not 100% sound for black, but it is extremely dangerous if white doesn't know exactly what they're doing. Anyway, after all that, so black played knight takes d5, white played c4, knight b6, and I've played this joke variation sometimes for fun, the Kiel variation, but it's just not sound. It's just fun for blitz. Knight b6, and then knight c3, and so princess chess, you got to stop playing this. Promise me no, but that's Scandinavian Lud with queen takes d5. The Scandinavian with queen takes d5 is superior to knight f6. Like, it's definitely not equal, but it's still better than the knight f6. Yeah, I mean, Anand played the normal Scandinavian. That's probably the best. But princess chess, you have to promise to stop playing knight c3, because this isn't good for white. Black basically equalizes with e5. This is a mistake to play knight c3. Now, I thought you learned your lesson against me. I had a tragic game against Canadian Grandmaster Mark Blofstein, where I lost with black in this position in a tournament at the Marshall Chess Club in 2003. It was heartbreaking, and I wanted to commit suicide because he went into this endgame after pawn takes e5. It's awful for white, and I managed to lose a really long endgame. Black has a clear advantage almost. You can't play this with white. You must play knight f3. There's no option here. You must play knight f3. And then black can play either bishop g4 or g6, and neither of them equalizes. Once I played c5, but it's garbage. It's probably not good. Was it in this position? No, I played e6. I played e6 and c5. I think I did this in a game, but it's just not good. Maybe I'm thinking of a different position, actually. Never mind. Don't believe anything I say. I didn't play that. Anyways, knight b6, knight f3, and then g6, black can't equalize. Bishop g4, black can equalize. But she played knight c3. Okay. Now black is fine. White played d5. And in a game against princess chess, I think I played c6 here. And I've also won games with strong players with bishop e4. Black instead plays bishop e7. This is a problem. This move isn't active enough for black. It may still be okay. But I guess I'm a little concerned about, what are we going to do about our e5 pawn if that's attacked? So I think that bishop e7 just isn't quite active enough. Even so, it might not be that bad. It was played here by Karek Chaba, 1997. I wonder if knight f3 castles. I'm thinking knight f3 castles, knight takes e5, rook e8, with interesting play for black. +1. According to Stockfish, it's plus 7. So that's not enough. 0.7, 1.1. Not that clear. Bishop e7 novelty. Oh, he does have bishop g4. That's true. Okay, so it's a plausible novelty for black. Not putting in pressure, though. Normally you want to put pressure on the white center here. Princess Chess, how do you have time for this kind of move? You're not developing your pieces. All your pieces are on the back rank. Yeah, I would be a little concerned. I understand you might want to play bishop e2, but it wouldn't be my first priority here. There goes the center. What's left of it? No, she just takes. Queen d1. And then knight d1. Well, it's similar to my game with Blufstein, except better, because black's not down a pawn. Black's just better. Strong pawn in the center. What happened to white's center? Now, it could go wrong. I mean, black could somehow lose the initiative. And if black loses the initiative and somehow miraculously white's queenside majority becomes a factor, I understand it's blitz. All right, I'll try to let up. Bishop e2, castle, bishop d3. Okay, positional play. I like this. I really do. She zoned in on that weak pawn. And now black... I'm not certain about bishop e4 check. May not be a bad move. I think f6 is fine. After f6, black is probably slightly better. Check, I'm not sure about. I guess you could play king e2, although this sacrifice looks extremely scary. And I think you may not want to go there. So, alright, anyways. Bishop c3. Oh, no. And black has rook takes d1 check. Rook takes d1, bishop c3 check, king e2, f6, all business. Black is winning. Black is winning. Black has 2 pieces for a rook. But there's some technical difficulties. Threatening e4, a nice reaction. Not sure how that works. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for the pawn. I don't think that black really fully figured that out, but it's getting to the point now where I'm a little bit concerned that white could screw this up. Those pawns on the queen side could be a problem. White now has 2 pawns and a rook for the 2 pieces. If black loses their initiative here, the white rooks filter in on the open files, it could be a tragedy. Like, white could actually win. Well, the rook is trapped. OMG. Whoops. Oh no. The rook got trapped. Black's up a piece. And knight c8 is kind of passive. I guess there's still hope. Anytime we have the ability to create 2 connected passed pawns, I don't want to give up. There's more than hope now. With a monster king, now white's almost winning. Maybe winning. Unbelievable. So king f8 looks like the only move. Now let king g8. He should have tried king g8, I guess. Maybe black can still save the game. Still an outside chance that black can still save the game here with king g8. But this doesn't help. After king f6, he basically forced you to make a good move. Now, obviously, king g8 is the only move, but black lost all their pawns. So if king g8, I guess like rook c7, and then another pawn bites the dust, it's likely that black has no hope left. But instead he allowed mating one. Anyway, it was entertaining. Entertaining. We learned. We learned from that game. Alright, thanks Princess Chess. Now, the irreplaceable Mr. Slow. He donated 10 gift subs. Move 11 just submitted a game. We're going to get to as many as we can from the subscribers. We just call him Move E. Let's go to a movie. Move E. Alright, next one. Breezing right along. We've got... I think that I guilted Princess Chess for submitting really long, tricky games a lot. So now she's submitting really brief 3-minute blitz games. That's a little easier to go through. Don't expect too much from Mr. Slow. Alright. Let's see what we got. Interesting games so far, though, guys. Thank you for supporting the stream. We just got a new follower. Razvan. Bishop d2, your favorite move of the game? Wait. When was Bishop d2? Alright. Mr. Slowhand, where are you? Gotta find your game. There it is. Okay, another 3-0. Beer. Coffee earlier. Only one beer. I want to be fresh for the Friday morning stream tomorrow. Guys, we're streaming 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Fast Blitz. Only 5+3. Everybody's welcome to play, not only subscribers. I'm taking all the challengers with established accounts. So this is Mr. Slow's submission. A nice late night 3-0 hack and slay. I think it's hack and slash. Slasher film. Hack and slay attack. Sleigh bells ring? I don't know. Hack and slash. I don't know what it is in German. For the Thursday night analysis stream. Here it is. Alright. So nothing serious, guys. Just fun games. They can be fun. I take everything too seriously. So you're white. Yeah, what is it with E3 lately? You know, guys want to see a fun E3 line? E3, E5. How is it now? Knight C3. D5, D4, E4, F3. There's this guy. I don't know where he's from. It's a German name. But these are correspondence games. This guy's like a 2500 correspondence player. This is the way to play E3, Mr. Slow. Very tricky system. Yeah. I was going for the Santa horror film reference, but I couldn't remember any. I'm sure there are. I think this is the plan when you play E3. You're trying to get into something like this. Basically, what is a souped-up Nimzovich French with colors reversed. But there was this really nasty move. I guess here. Take. I thought there was a Queen H5 move. There was one variation where Queen H5 is extremely strong. Anyway, if you're going to play E3 on move 1, I think you should be aiming for stuff like this. E3, E5, B3. Okay, just another way to play the Owen defense with reverse colors, which is fine. D6. Ironically, I saw a D6 game today. I saw a game in this exact position. Yabatis, one of our other subscribers, showed me a game where he was black. He played Bishop B2, F5 in his game. Mr. Slow. White played a very strange move you'll never guess. Anybody want to guess what Ubatis' opponent played here with white? Weird move. I mean, honestly, like, this looks like a fun idea. To check and induce g6. That's a good move for black, though. White played queen e2. I don't think, you know, I get it. I mean, I see there's a king there. Unfortunately, there's two pawns in between the queen and the king. White wanted to play the Yababa setup with knight c3 and castles. So Peter Schuster plays for Germany. I mean, I figured it's like a German or Austrian correspondence master. But a lot of the correspondence players who are 2500 aren't they aren't automatically like over the board masters. The irony was that one of his opponents there in that list was Michael Agner, who's he's like a paraplegic master from San Francisco who's taught a lot of players. He's really, really good at teaching and like correspondence chess. So some of the correspondence masters are over the board masters, but sometimes they're just like random 1700 players. Anyway, I'm getting off the track. So d6 here, bishop e2, bishop e7. Not a particularly exciting move for black. Knight f3, now for Mr. Slow. So Mr. Slow can transfer to the English. You can play d4. Jim likes to play d4. Maybe that's the most direct. I kind of like that. I guess the problem here is that if you take, and black has bishop f6. In other words, queen takes, bishop f6 sort of takes the air out of the ball for white. Now you probably have to like exchange queens after queen e4 check, queen e7, and it's nothing. Queen takes, king takes, draw-ish position. So I don't know. I played this guy Munka from Mongolia. He was a nice guy. Here in Hungary a couple years ago. It was around 2015, 2016. c4 played by Munka, but this is basically in English. So you play knight f3. It's funny that no one played d4 there. Black's basically playing the old Indian against the Owen. Which is better? So, should black play e4 or take? E4 looks better than take. I personally vote for e4 for black. Taking seems like nothing. Knight fd2. It's also possible for you to play knight. It's also possible for you to play knight g1. Mr. Slow, what do you think? Obviously, that's a bit more passive, but reasonable. You can redeploy to f4. Mr. Slow plays the French with black, so he can play this like he's playing essentially black with an extra move. And then bishop f5, which not my favorite move, but it does reinforce the strong point. c4, castle. Now you have the threat of g4. g4, g5. Totally dangerous. This counterplay idea. And black played knight c6. Maybe Mr. Slow missed it. There's even the possibility that your knight could bounce around to g3 behind that g pawn and then pawn storm on the king's side. So I feel like black did something wrong. g4 was best. This actually happened in a game, 1995. But I mean, this pawn is in danger of just falling here. Totally standard. It's an Imzo Larsen. But totally standard position where black's center pawn is just overextended. It looks like he's in serious trouble. H4, very tempting. You just have a free-for-all. Knight c3 is coming to bring more pressure on the e4 pawn. White's clearly better. The only thing for black would be knight b4. Some sort of counterplay with knight b4. Yeah, black's setup wasn't good. Like bishop f5 wasn't optimal. He walked right into this. Unfortunately, Mr. Slowman played h3, which is a tad slower. Maybe not quite as good. You may not have the h4 move now. Or if you need h4, it's a tempo down. So it's not as good. a3, defensive, stopping knight b4 here. That's a waste of time. So it's starting to look like the e4 pawn is about to fall. I played the old Indian with black quite a few games. Variations where the pawn gets pushed to e4. And sometimes this guy can fall to c2 or queen b1. Yeah, I mean, black's plan here is just slow and ineffectual. Do I say ineffectual or ineffective? What's the difference? So now Mr. Slow decided to play g4, but I think that seems kind of odd to me. Maybe not, though. Maybe g4 is best. g4 h6 is forced. I'm thinking about this. The problem is these tactics. Knight d4, pawn d4, e3. So you could play queen b1. Doesn't really change anything, though. Same difference. I guess Mr. Slow may have seen it and not liked it. The counterplay based on knight takes d4. g4 is fine. You got to think about your king position, but the most important factor is he's trying to undermine black's center. If e4 falls, black's done. h6 is sort of the only move. If only you could play like bishop g2, it would be game over in this position. Something to consider, because maybe we have time. El Rosador, welcome. Let's say he plays h6. Is there time to play here? Black has time to play rook e8. White has time to play bishop g2. Black has time to play bishop f8. Black can reinforce that e4 pawn. Unfortunately, we're too slow. But we could maneuver. I still think the e4 pawn is overextended. Ineffectual is unable or sufficient to produce effect. Futile what? Ineffective is not having the desired effect. Very good, thank you, Warnaki, for verification. But knight a7 is bad. Man, that's the second time we've seen that today. The irony is that Mr. Slow did this against me the other day, yesterday. No, Tuesday night. No, it was yesterday, on our morning stream. Mr. Slow did the same maneuver. It's like a disease. Earlier knight h7, now knight a7. And now, no, knight a2, now knight a7. I mean, I understand black's quandary here, but I mean, this move doesn't come close to doing anything. Uh-oh. And now g5, and this just falls. And it's game over. Pavel Blatny Jr. playing white here. HG, HG, and knight h7, so you got matching knights. Epaulette. Now, we may lose the g5 pawn, but that's just the battle. We lost the battle, but won the war. Not as important as the central pawn on e4. There's also a little matter of the h-file, which might be a factor. Now queen c2. Interesting. I expect you should probably take this pawn. I don't think you should wait. You know, I think you should take the pawn. I don't see why he should give up his bishop. He should probably take on g5, knight g5, bishop g5. you're clearly better. You're practically winning. Like bishop d3. And your center pawns are so powerful that he can't do anything to your king. If he plays b5, I don't know, we probably take. Massive advantage to white, Mr. Slow. Massive. So I don't know, maybe queen c2 is still good, but I want to take this pawn. He's just very patient here, but he's allowing f5. That doesn't seem right. I don't even get it. How can he afford to allow? How can you afford to allow f5? Wow. I mean, I realize you have chances with open files and stuff, but I still think you should take this pawn. Take it while the taking's good. There isn't anything he can do to you, really, on the diagonal, and you can play bishop d3 when you need to, you know. So there's no danger in taking the pawn. I don't really think. Here, here, here. Yeah, this is probably a good reaction. You don't even need to take there. Wow. Rook epaulets. There's a theme here, like giving up rooks for bishops. I definitely wouldn't have found this. Rook takes h6, and now d5. There's a concept about the bishop on the long diagonal. Honestly, that's pretty good. Now the irony. Self-immolation. You might want to shield your eyes, especially the younger viewers out there, because the rest of this could be kind of violent. And I don't like to show, you know, ultra violence here on the stream. But this could get kind of bloody after king h8. Not my first concept here. Check. Ah, g8. Good choice. Man, this is perverse. But a nice little game. Oof. Take, 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 and checkmate. All right, that was edificational. Thank you, Mr. So good game. Beautiful. He had 19 CPL. Very good. All right, guys, we're on schedule. We got to move it along though to get to all the games I've got. I got another submission. Princess Chess, the game she meant to submit. Maybe she'll put that in for next time. All right, Acerbate's up. The stream's favorite player, Acerbate. Where are you? All right, another king hunt. King rout. It was a king rout. Otherwise known as a king hunt. Acerbate, is this another Acerbate Evergreen game? Like your other one? He played one of the most unbelievable games we've ever gone over. Like last year. Thanks again to Mr. Slowhand for donating the gift subs. 32 this month. Hack and slay. Hack and slash. Slasher film. Yeah, that's rated R. We can't show that on the stream. Sorry, I can't put that up on YouTube. I have light violence only in my streams. E4, E5, knight F3, F6. But you surprised me with D5. That was a nice move. And rook takes H6 was really pretty. It was not just a hack and slay game. It was kind of artistic. It was like artistic violence. Acerbate, do you know about knight takes E5? You do know that, right? I can't remember if Acerbate has ever faced the Damiano defense. So knight takes A5 is standard. E5. I'm having a Warnaki hallucination. Karash Gabor actually played this with black. Rest in peace. You just sack the knight here. I mean, I think even Fischer had a game with this. Queen h5 check, g6, queen e5 check. I definitely remember like a Fischer simul game. It seems to me. I must have seen somewhere where it was literally played against him. I mean, he wouldn't have played it with black, obviously. So this is the line. I guess it's winning. Maybe there's some traps though. If white isn't careful, he could get the queen trapped or something. It would take a real effort to get the queen trapped on h8 though. So, Michael Sandstone. Alright, d4, it's a principled move. You know, honestly, Stockfish prefers knight takes e5 or bishop c4. But I've been trying to teach Acerbate to play this break and open the game when he's ahead in development. Black's basically playing for cheapos now. c6, and he's hoping for take, 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 and queen a5 check. It would be an unfortunate development if white fell for that little trap. So, it looks like taking might not even be our best move. I suspect we missed our best option with knight takes e5 earlier. But how do we pursue this? You know, bishop c4, probably. With bishop c4 we have to be careful because it walks into d5. Bishop c4, d5, take, take, bishop e5 check. It's possible that's still good for white. It reminds me of a line I've seen in another line, but this type of thing, like this, still might be good for white. Like here, take, take, check, bishop d7, just take, and now like one of these pawns is gonna fall. It's just a question of like which one. If you take knight takes, then you're d5. I guess black has to play this. That's bad as well. Yeah, black can't hold the center. He loses a pawn in all lines. So I think probably that, bishop c4. Acerbate is your best bet now. Let's see what the robot says. The robot disagrees. Bishop e2 is white's best move. Get out of here, Stockfish. I don't want to see it anymore. Lichess would never play bishop e2 in this position. Stockfish, you're fired. Going the way of Donald Trump. Get out of here. Goodbye. Good riddance. Bishop e2 is white's best move. Come on, it's against every principle. How can that possibly be white's best move? Knight c3 I'll give you, that's okay. You know, it's a totally normal move. So Acerbate played what? Knight h4. Objectively, this is probably not like white's best move, but I'll give Acerbate credit for thinking outside the box. That's a cool idea. Concrete threat of queen h5. I think this is okay. Black maybe should play g6. g6 or knight e7. There may be no time for knight e7. I like knight h4. I guess I like bishop c4 better. What's the defense here? The variation that I gave, and it's like down a pawn. That's black's best defense. Losing a pawn with d5 after bishop c4. I mean, frankly, I would think like d6 or something has to be better than losing a pawn, but maybe we have a tactic here. I still don't see it. What's the best move now? No tactics. That's what black would play, just d6. Acerbate creative move, knight h4, very cool. Black plays what, g6? Oh, God, what? What? Acerbate, what's the rating of your opponent? 800. He played h6. h6. Literally the worst move on the board. There is no other worse move. I mean, probably f5 is better than h6. It's a close call between h6 and f5 as to what the worst move is. That'd be a cool feature of Stockfish if we could turn it and see what the worst move was instead of the best one. What are the top 2 worst moves for black in this position, Stockfish? Black can't really lose material. You know, he can play f5, but at least f5 threatens like queen takes h4. Clearly black should play g6, keeping your knight off f5, and then completing development with a kind of Steinitzian Roy Lopez or something. But man, this is ridiculous. So it's mate in 12 according to the engine. Mate in 12. Check. And now what? We want to win a rook. So it's a lost forced checkmate sequence according to the engine. Knight f5 check, king e6, bishop c4. I don't see a mate. It must be something perverse, like d5. I'm not looking at the analysis, I swear. Check, here. Bishop c4 is never going to be mate. It must be this, 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 and now after king d5, it has to be a forced mate. Some kind of queen f7, or maybe we just play like knight c3. This has got to be the line. Yeah, this is the line. King takes, although here I would probably mess it up. I would get this far and not be accurate in the finish. King c6, queen c4 check, bishop c5, queen b5 check, king c7, queen c5, and knight c6. That is not mate. That is not mate. So where's the rest of the line? Check, here, check, here, and mate. Asteroid, how did you miss that? What are you doing? Seriously, how could you miss that mate in 12? It's right up your alley. It's ridiculous. So anyway, Asteroid just took the material. He's getting materialistic in his old age. It's not a good sign. But black can play king e8. He's sneaking the mate in too. Isn't that now mate in, I don't know what. I thought you were going to play bishop here. Black can avoid mate by playing c5. And if bishop a6, he has queen a5 check. There's no mate here. We're very disappointed, Asterbait. Sloppy chess. Just taking those pieces without a mate. Now you got something with queen e5. Man, still no mate. That's it. Yeah, unfortunately that's the only mate. Because you need to control a5. Alright, Asterbait, thank you for the game. Guys, we got time for a few more. I've got to end the stream in a little under an hour, so we've got Savadog, Antoni, Warnacki, and Move 11. 4 games. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. 5+3 blitz. No, Asterbait, keep it up, man. Knight h4 was a creative move, but I'm very disappointed you missed the mate in 12. I only saw mate like 7 moves of the 12 move mate. I might have gotten to like move 9. I probably wouldn't have found it though. Alright. Everybody, welcome, and thanks for joining our stream. We're going over subscriber games. So we've got Save Dog already done. So Antoni, Warnacki, and Move 11. Let me know if I forgot anybody. Submission for tonight's analysis, but there's 2 studies. That's weird. There's like two different studies. I guess the same one. Alright. You followed theory until move 11. I didn't see Antoni here. Followed theory until move 11 when my opponent played a strange capture. I was also observing the second board. Oh, this was in his live tournament that he won with 6 out of 7. Tied for first. He was observing the second board of the tournament since the result was impacting my tournament. I noticed from move 10 the boy was going to win. Okay, I decided to go on the attack. So this was the final round game from Antoni's tournament. And he needed to win. What just happened? Final game from his tournament and he needed to win? Pin. It's a good chess name. Alright, so Antoni's playing white. He's got a really solid repertoire. D4, D5, C4, E6, Knight F3, Knight F6, Catalan. Following Boris Avrukh system. Bishop E7, Bishop G2, castles, castles, and now black goes for the closed Catalan. If I'm being completely honest, I really don't know, like, if black is better playing C6 or knight on BD7. I think I prefer C6 for some reason. Usually it's knights before bishops, but I think I like playing C6. Keeping the knight on B8 to keep control of C6 a little bit longer. I prefer C6 slightly. C6, Queen C2, and now B6. One of the important concepts for black in this type of closed Catalan would be that depending on how white plays, how aggressively or how passively, there are various setups we can try. We can try to play bishop E7, we can try to play bishop A6, or black can try to play even A5 and develop the bishop on A6 behind the wall of pawns. So different kind of formations that black can go for. I think I like this. But everything's different. Like white can try rook D1, knight C3, knight on BD2, B3, bishop F4, knight E5. There's like 100 different moves. I don't really know enough. I've played this position for white, but I don't really know what I'm doing well enough. You know, I think I've played knight C3. That's actually a very rare move, according to the opening explorer, but has a good score. I mean, I don't think this is okay for black to play this. Excuse me, I just jumped back. So knight on BD2, though, secure C4. You like A5. Pin Tony. I mean, I can see the problems with knight C3. Maybe that the knight doesn't have where to go after that. It's a better square to start with, but it's not necessarily a good future for the knight. In any case, black didn't play B6. Black played knight on BD7. This is a different system. Black will play for B6. It's the only way to develop his pieces. You did, Bob. You missed everything. You'll miss your own funeral if you're not careful. But maybe that's a good thing. Knight on BD2, B6, so we transpose. And now Warnacki played E4. Warnacki, I'm sorry. Antoni played E4. I remember when I was a kid and I was starting out, I was like 1500, and a friend of mine and I had this exact type of position. We were playing in a quadrangular round robin tournament. I was like 1500 and my friend was like 1600. And I was black in this type of position. And I remember losing. And I lost because I gave up the center. I took on E4. Look at the score, how bad it is. You would think like this would be an automatic capture, but actually the superior plan for black is to allow white to play E4, E5. It looks scary, it is a little scary, but that's the best way to play. Normally black drops the knight back to E8, and then it tries to maneuver over to C7. Black's hoping that white overextends himself, and then he can fight back with like C5. The computer, aka Igor Rausis, played a game against me with black where he did something really weird. He like H6'd it in a similar position, and then like put his knight on H7. But I mean that's again the knight H7 thing that keeps popping up today. You just don't really want to have your knight on h7. e8 isn't great. Saruwan calls it the hospital. But in this particular position, e8 is okay, because that's the plan, that the knight maneuvers back through c7 and back into d5, or over here to the queen side to b5. It's temporarily in the hospital, but it gets back out of the hospital to c7. So black knows what he's doing. He plays bishop b7, now e5, and now knight e8. And I think this is like a main line. And I really don't know enough here. If I were white, I would consider... I lost this position with black against strong player. Grandmaster from Ecuador, Carlos Matamoros Franco. Carlos played something like rook d1 against me. And then he continued with the plan of knight f1 and knight e3. I remember very distinctly. I lost with black. I don't know, I was trying to play, I was trying to play the Queen's Gambit in a very, very brief period with black. It was like 1999. Normally I don't play d4, d5. So I would think this would be a kind of standard plan. Going for that maneuver. Knight here, knight here. So he just exchanges. Obviously this has a disadvantage of simplifying the position. No. Nope. I don't think this is right. I don't think you're supposed to take with the e-pawn. This is a problem. Antoni's opponent might have thought like, you know, oh well, I can play knight c7, knight e6, but there's still this problem here. Your pawns aren't secure. The f5 square, the pawn roller with like f4, f5 could be a problem. I don't know who this is. Jaime Quartas. Not a player I'm familiar with. Yakovenko actually played it. Vaganyan actually played it. My feeling is that e takes d is a mistake. I mean, maybe Vaganyan played it against the young Buman just because he wanted to play something like sharper. But I would imagine that ED is significantly worse than CD for black here. Let's see what the Oracle says. CD5. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. So theory says CD5, which I'm familiar with. The Stockfish believes that ED is actually a good move. Wow. I think it's dynamic and dangerous for black to take this way. No way I'm playing that. This seems safer. Then again, I lost, so. Alright. So ED5, rook E1, knight C7, knight F1. The queen will come back. Maybe to D1. If the queen becomes exposed on the C file, it can just retreat back. White is essentially playing like what would be a King's Indian attack now. This push is irresistible. I mean, Vaganyan is a great player. Gormley lost. I just don't want to touch this with black. Now G6. God, that's ugly. So the C5 looks a lot more dynamic. G6 is slow, weakening black's king side to take control of F5. But in the game, black played rook C8. This move is slow but solid. Knight F5. And then C5. Black played well. We actually have a game from 2012. South African master Kenny Solomon, who I've played against Zambrana. I don't know where Zambrana is from, like Bolivia or something. C5. It must be like an Olympic, chess Olympics. So we clearly need to move the queen, queen d1. It seems to me like white is better. I definitely like white here. The first thing is the pawn structure. White has the larger island. I think that's favorable. Plus just generally the space advantage with e5. And right now, the fact of the matter, we might be taking out a good bishop on e7. So the guy followed the exact game. They're playing this master level game. Rook e8, and now Antoni goes with h4. And Kenny Solomon just cashed in for the dark square bishop. But he was unable to win. Queen e7. White is better, but it looks like black still is kind of hard to break down in this position. And Zambrana here played knight b8, which is kind of a cool idea to play for knight c6. But I don't know. Knight h4, g6. Look at the dark squares around the black king side. Crazy. f4, knight c6. And then Kenny took on c5. Man, it's a tough game. Ended in a draw. Probably chess Olympiad. But f5 is even interesting for white. It does look like white is better. Yeah, he is Bolivian. Okay. Anyway. Going back. So Antoni played h4. Novelty. Now, one would assume black plays bishop f8 here. Given the opportunity to play bishop f8, hold on to that dark square bishop, we gotta try. So it's strange that Antoni's opponent didn't do that. He played cd4. An unbelievable turn of events. This transposed to two games that actually occurred. Wow. So the problem with black's move is that he ends up, it seems like he ends up with that bishop really statically bad on b7. He ends up with a bad structure as well. So I think this is suspicious. Knight takes d4. Knight takes d4. And now queen takes d4. Another game was knight takes d4. It's also possible to just play knight e7 check. Do we have a problem? After take, knight takes e5, bg5. This looks kind of bad for black, this variation, because f6, but maybe f6 holds. Possible it just holds. But white's better, I guess. f4. Really not clear. Tough game. Very high level game in the opening by these guys. Playing under section. Last round. Knight d4, queen d4. And in this game, from 2018, black played rook c4. Driving the queen back to d1. But white is still better. Went on to win. Bishop e4. Bishop g5. Very strong threats. So Antoni, after queen d4, his opponent played bishop c5. But the king side. One of the reasons why we need the bishop on f8 is to protect the king side. So I think Antoni's opponent just wanted to be active. Well, I'm not sure about defensive aspect here. The bishop did stay on c1 very long. It's developed from its original square. Probably not unusual for Catalans, but angry pieces, he'll come out with great effect. Don't worry. What just happened? Sorry, I skipped a move. So bishop c5, queen g4, g6, and now what do we do? I lost the knight on h6 last week. Brings back bad memories. This is better than my game. White is all over him here. I mean, bishop g5 looks really dangerous. He's offering an implied draw there. What about this? Nothing? Is this nothing? Bishop g5. This could be a problem. I mean, I'm confused, quite frankly. But I'm not that sure that this is winning for white. Queen d4, bishop c5. This is forced. And now what's our best move? Maybe knight h6 check wasn't the only move. We could play maybe h5, but it's too slow. This is a threat. Even e6 is interesting. It has to be considered. That's serious. Not enough according to the engine. I mean, we could easily be lost if we just drop our e5 pawn. So knight h6 check. He could also play king f8, but I guess king g7 is better. If knight f5 check, king h8, probably. That's interesting too. I think white is clearly better here. Damn. So he's got this crazy combination. I never would have seen it. Nah, maybe I would. I didn't see it now though. Knight f7. I cheated and used the engine. If I was a little sharper, I probably would have seen it. If it was my over-the-board game, I probably would have found it. It's a little hard to see. I wasn't looking for f7. But you see the check, the follow-up check is crushing. I guess the question is here. King takes e6 check. King g7. And what do you do? Oh. There must be some kind of crazy move with like bishop h6 check. Are you kidding me? Like this? It must be like this. It's a very long sequence that wins by force. Something based on bishop h6 check. But I haven't seen any of Antoni's analysis. That's the computer found knight f7. It's a really handy move because it protects e5. And black is lost. It attacks the queen, protects e5. When he takes e6 check. But this is very hard to see because you look and you're like, well, I can't take because the rook takes e1 check. But it turns out you can. Because you just throw away the bishop first. I can't imagine there's a defense. Takes, takes, takes. And now black just has to give the rook on c8. Maybe there is still a defense. But he would be down the exchange at the very minimum if he gives the rook. So it's probably lost. Anyway. Alright, queen f3. What's the evaluation here? Clear advantage to white. So queen f3 was a great move because if knight e5, rook e5, you got this tactic on f7. He's taking and taking and taking that. It looks terrific. Maybe there's even stronger moves for white. So black can't take on e5, plays this. And it's getting ugly. Oof. It smells like mate. Check. Check. Man, you had to calculate this very carefully. And now what, g4? Wow. Is this working? Because white is down a piece. And I don't have a better suggestion. So it's like g5 check, king h5, king h5, bishop check, king f4, queen f4 check. I don't see a defense here. Queen e7, g5, king h5, bishop f3, king h4, queen f4, king h3, queen g3 mate. I don't think there was a defense. Great game by Antoni. Deservedly winning his tournament. Alright, man, that was terrific. So we got everybody. We got Warnacki at move 11. 2 games remaining. Excellent game. I don't think the black could have defended. Well, he should have played f6. This was the last chance. But I think there he's done. After this, it's over. It's over. Even the engine didn't see it right away. Beautiful mate. What do you got? We got a request to join our team from Rayterin. But it's provisional? No, he's got enough games. Alright, accept. Back to game analysis, guys. 2 games left. Warnacki. Howdy Budapest Dwelling Master. Here's a late entry, a boring draw that I should have lost due to the endgame blunder. Alright. This is from our Tuesday tournament, I assume. Listen, guys, for members of the team, the Panda and Horses Club, please do not forget that Sunday there is a streamer battle at 3 p.m. CST. We need all the support we can get. Please be here at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Alright, guys. I will not be here, so we need extra support. Well, Jim basically is either here or he's at work. I guess he's at work. Mr. Coffee was here. He may be at work as well. He was here earlier, Bob. Thanks, guys, for supporting the stream. Everybody, muchas gracias. d4, d5, knight f3, e6, c4. So Warnacki's white. Knight f6. I was just studying Capablanca Lasker. I'm going to start playing bishop g5 like I did against Schieberspieler. e3. Ugh. The slow. The slow, my feet are stuck in the ground. Mr. Coffee. We transpose to an e3 type setup. And now c5. So the semi-tarash. Semi-tarash with c5. This is still cool for white. I like d takes c5, Warnacki. Channeling your inner... Well, I don't like it, actually. I like the idea of it. Channeling your inner Akiba Rubinstein. But I guess we should wait. Maybe we can play more accurately like a3 first. If you really want to take on c5. The roll call. So a3. He's checking for all of his non-Smurf accounts. Real people. Not just the bots. So a3. This may be... Let's hope that black plays bishop d6 and you can take and play an improved version with like b4 on the queen side. Alright. The main move is knight c3. But if we want to do a capture on c5, it's better not to block the a1 h8 diagonal with the knight on c3. Start a controversy with a fake account, Bob. It's getting a little slow today, not enough trolls. c5, d takes c5. So this is early. You know, he's basically just playing Queen's Gambit accepted, colors reversed. But I think if black can take here in one move, he's getting a pretty good deal. It should be equal. But this is still not too late to play a3, the most accurate. Knight c3. Now you're playing like a Steinitz Queen's Gambit accepted with colors reversed. We may have to play a more stodgy setup where we don't fianchetto. I'm going to turn off the engine now. What is bishop b4? Alright, Bob, that's enough. I hope that Nefedov will come back, so let's not disparage him any further. No need to rub salt in the wounds. Bishop b4. Black is just losing time. You know, he's just wasting a tempo, a full-on tempo. Bishop b4. Here, have a free tempo. And now Warnacki play queen a4 check. What did I tell you guys? Never ever play queen a5 check. Queen a5 check is always better. Queen a5 is always bad. Queen a4 is usually bad. Vent out all your frustrations now, Bob. I get angry at people for walking on the left side of on the left side of the sidewalk all the time. You know, is that annoying? You're walking on like a city street, and you're walking on the right, and then you're in like America or mainland Europe, and all of a sudden like the other people walking on the left side of the sidewalk, like directly into you. I find it very irritating. Give them dirty looks. What are you, from freaking Britain? Why are you driving on the left side of the road? No. I mean, I think you should play bishop d2. What's there to think about here? You like queen b3? Bishops before queens. And you have a problem with this piece anyway, because you already blocked your long diagonal. I mean, I guess the other way to approach this position would be to not care at all, you know? I mean, I admit like queen b3 is probably not too bad, but I don't think it really poses black any serious problems. It gets in the way of your b-pawn. It's not really optimal. It seems to me like your only good choice is bishop d2. And white is better. Here, here. And now what? What are you going to do? Like knight e5? I think you just like develop your queen on a4 for no particular reason. Maybe you have take, bishop b5. But I still think that black is somewhat solid. Let's see. This is probably good. And he takes with a knight, and that's annoying. See, that's the problem. Oh man, what are you going to do? You're going to play bishop b5. Still need to play bishop d2. So queen a4 is a mistake. Yeah, I mean, if he took with the pawn, I think you're playing bishop b5, you have a good game. I guess even that may not be that clear. Castles. Bishop takes c6. Bishop takes c3 check. B takes c. Takes, and if you take the pawn on c6, you get in danger. You're an endangered species list after this, because the king being stuck in the center might be an issue. You got to be careful not to be too greedy. But I still think that bishop d2 was forced. That's what the other guys played. All the other children played bishop d2, but Warnacki went his own way. No, this was a different position. Okay, cd5, knight e5. Now you have to play bishop d2. But instead, you wasted a tempo back with queen c2. Not such a bad move, by the way. You know, you're targeting the long diagonal, and your queen was misplaced on a4 anyway. But I still think that you're going to have issues on the c-file. I still think you should probably play bishop d2. But queen c2 is not that bad. Queen a5, now he's like... Ironically, queen a5 is probably a little better than your queen a4 was. Here, now you're forced to play the right move. And now black just like gives up his bishop for no good reason. I'm just going to trade off my bishop for no particular reason. Bishop takes c3. Probably he should take with a knight. And now what do you do? Take with a knight. If you take with the pawn, black keeps his dark square bishop, and you have the worst structure with equal pieces. If you take with the bishop, you have the worst structure, and you're slightly worse. But he takes with the bishop, and you took back with the bishop, but your only chance is to take with the pawn. These two bishops could end up being a very serious advantage. And it also offsets your inferior structure. You have two isolated pawns. This is key. After this, you're like slightly worse. It's only an ugly bishop temporarily, though, Bob. It's an ugly bishop that's going to blossom into a beautiful swan. After c4, we're going to kick that knight off of d5, or maybe e4, probably c4. We kick it off of d5. Later on, it will like dominate one of these diagonals. It's at least worth a knight. Now you're left with the bad structure. Black will play b6, so you don't have anything on the b file. He has the half of a c file pressurizing c3. You got to be active here not to be worse. Probably knight d4. Black makes a mistake immediately. King e7 is the best move. It's an endgame. You want to centralize your king. This is a classic beginner mistake. Is everybody listening? Classic beginner's mistake. The king is a strong piece. It should be in the center. You don't need to castle after all those pieces have been exchanged. This is clearly the best square. You just saved yourself some time with the king in the center. Castles, question mark. Now knight d4, and we hope that black takes on d4. You actually did this a little later. Here. That's correct. Okay, you didn't really leave yourself a choice. But I don't think your king is as stable as his king was on e7. If you try to do the same thing with king e2. It wasn't so easy. This is a good try. And now black does not want to take on d4. Something like rook c8, maybe knight e5. I don't know which rook, maybe even this rook. But you've got that now. Maybe bishop a6, pinning you now. Let's see what he did, e5. Hole here. Now this is weaker. So you want to look for an active sequence here. Knight f5 threatening knight d6. Very powerful move. Something to think about. I think you kind of sold out here with knight takes c6. You're still probably slightly worse. Bishop takes c6. If you can play a4, a5, Warnacki. If you can play a5, you're probably equal. Close to it. But it's a risky decision to play a4. Maybe we don't want to bother. But we don't want to end up passive defending our c3 pawn with no counterplay. I think I go for it. If he plays a5, then his b6 pawn is weak. I think you're okay here, like rook b1, rook b8, bishop b5, bishop somewhere, like this, and then open file. And you can play c4, cover your c pawn. Your bishop's very active on b5. You got to play actively. e5 is probably a mistake. This is probably a mistake. And then this. I think I like the F rook. He doesn't understand his king. His king needs to get into the game. F rook, and you exchange rooks. It's a draw. But you got to be careful. If the black king gets to c5, he's going to be threatening to win. So you've got to move your g-pawn, get your king over here, bring it over to like d2. I had a very similar game against Schieberspieler like 2 weeks ago. And you have to be very careful to make sure his king can't penetrate. I guess g5 is okay. You blundered your g2 pawn. You have to play g3. I don't think f3 is best. Don't want to put pawns on the same color as your bishop, probably. This looks fine. You'll hold after g3. This is a blunder. He misses it, and you played f3. Again, I think g3. Your bishop's going to guard the white squares, so he's not going to be able to get his king in to attack your h2 pawn. You're going to bring your king over here, or here, or here. And the question is, how can his king penetrate? Your bishop will just guard all the white squares. Your pawns guard the dark. It should be a draw. You play a3. You bring your king over to the queen side, ready to go to b2 or d2 or whatever. Your bishop guards squares. But f3 is a bad move, putting pawns on white squares. Because later on, he could get his bishop in here to like f1. I don't really want that to happen. And this is definitely not best. Now you've got 3 pawns fixed on white squares. It might still be a draw, but you're in trouble, I think, because of this. This threat of coming down here, paired with his threat of going to c5 with his king. You really need to play a3. So you don't walk into like a forced bishop exchange or something like that. Good move. And then the fact of the matter is it may still be a draw. I didn't like putting these pawns on white squares, but it may not be enough advantage for black to win. It's probably just a draw. Now it's clear. Game over. All right. Last game, guys. Move 11. Yeah, he could have taken on g2. Clearly blundered. Got to be aware. Never got to play a5. Your opponent got to play a5. All right. Last game, Mr. Move 11. Move 11, you did submit a game, didn't you? Move 11, did you say what game it was? Where's our chat? I have to search the inbox. I'm submitting this rapid game. There it is. I'm submitting this rapid game played on lichess for the subscriber stream today. All right. Cheers, Warnocky. Thanks for the donation. Super thanks to King Crusher for rating, Mr. Slowhand for donating 10 gift subs today. We had Warnocky donate a gift sub, Move 11 gift sub, Warnocky donate bits. Mr. Slow, Jim, thanks to all you guys. We also had a smaller bit donation, Ludwig, earlier, I think HTFP. Guys, tomorrow, Friday, don't forget. 11 a.m., 5+3 Blitz. This is our last game for today. All right, Move 11, I got it. Spanish. Pocket change, 46. A phone call. Bishop a4. Thank you for the donation, sir. You guys can also make streaming donations, don't forget. If you want to get your names and lights. Like Agnes Kardewski, someone on sound, Princess. That was Bob with the pocket change. I thought it was Move 11. I got confused. That was Bob. Thank you, Bob. Did I credit Move 11? Move 11 just donated 100. I thought it was Move 11 that donated 46. It was actually Bob. Bob's very generous. All right, D6, Steinitz, deferred. So I mean, what choice do we have here? There are weird lines like C4. I mean, I don't buy that. You got to be careful not to fall into the Noah's Ark trap. One of the most famous traps. Do you know this, Bob? D4, B5, Bishop E3, Knight D4. John Curto, legendary master from New England, he used to play the deferred Steinitz a lot. He was great at rabbit bashing and killing weaker players. But this is actually a trap. After takes, C5, Queen D5. It's unbelievable. Tregobov, who's like 2,600, fell into this. Is that a real game? Was that a fixed tournament or something? You're telling me that 2,600 fell for this? I am highly suspicious. It's like the oldest trap in chess. That's sort of unbelievable. There's a little trick, I guess, here, because if you play C4 right away, obviously, you got to play this, and then this, and then you play C4 and you win a piece. But I'm suspicious when 2,500 players fall for this. I think, you know, that's weird, but it's just me. There's a gambit, though. Bronstein played this, C3. It's actually kind of an interesting line. White has reasonable compensation for the sacrificed pawn, so it's almost even worth giving it a try. Kaido Coolouts from Estonia. He's big. Alright. Anyway. Oh, I don't think Bishop F7 is anything. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that. So, Move 11 castles, but I think like the main line is C3. Probably standard. I think my first ever E4 game was this against Curto in New Hampshire Open in like 1992. Bishop D7 castles, and he played like some weird variation like Knight E7. We had something like this. It was a draw. But Steinitz used to play like that. Curto had old-fashioned openings from like 100 years ago. He's still alive, hopefully. Alright. Bishop D7, that's kind of the main line. But Move 11 castled right away. This, I'm afraid like Black will start some sort of Mamedyarov type of thing with like G5. I guess it's not sound though. Man, Neubauer from Slovakia had a game in that actually happened against him. He had a game where 2,300 did this against him. Bishop takes C6, check B takes C, and D4. And that's the right reaction. G4, Knight E1. We don't get our knight trapped on G5. And Moisenko lost doing this. So it looks unsound for Black, but that's like the kind of thing Mamedyarov would do with Black, I assume. But it's not really something we should fear, I guess. So objectively, Bishop D7, C3, and now G6 is the best line. Again, going back to Steinitz, Magnus Carlsen. G6 is considered to be the best. What did your opponent play? Yeah, so this is much more passive for Black with less counterplay. Rook E1. It's still not too late to play G6, but ideally the knight doesn't block the F-pawn and goes to E7. I mean, it's also possible to play like I said Curto played. You can play like this and this. kind of a strong point defense. Here. Now it's just looks like a kind of passive normal Lopez. D4, B5, weakening the black queen side in a sense. I mean, I understand when you play like bishop E7, playing B5, and you've got the bishop on this diagonal. But I wonder if it's good to play B5 and you're not even putting the bishop on B7. So knight on BD2 or H3, both look okay. There's a Tisdall game from 1995. Tisdall is American, but he's lived in Norway most of his life. E takes D5, C takes D5, knight B4. The exact game, bishop E3. And now I'd assume C5, like your opponent played. But Tisdall's opponent played A5. I assume I would have maybe A4 there. The question becomes, you know, did move 11 make a mistake playing H3 or not? So if we play knight on BD2 instead, and black tries the same type of thing, take, knight B4, you have bishop E1. This looks much more dubious. Black's playing like the Zaitsev variation of the Lopez with his bishop on the wrong square. And you haven't had to waste time on H3. I think you don't have to play H3. There's nothing to fear. Black's position is too passive. So this turns out to be more accurate. And black has nothing better than like rook E8. Sachs, Jula. But it's still solid for black. So it looks like your opponent played it right. Take, knight B4, bishop E3, and now it's a question between those two pawn moves. Tisdall played A3, but what happens if A4? And then black played a really weird move, D5, E5, knight E4. White's up a pawn, but it's only like a double B pawn. And black has the bishop pair. Weird. It deserves further examination. If bishop E3, A5. I mean, I think that Tisdall could consider A4. Yes, the knight on B4 is good. But what's black going to do? If takes, you just take. He takes, you take with the rook. Maybe something like queen D7. But you're going to complete your development with knight C3. So I think this looks okay. Yeah, he's got a good knight on B4, but you have the center. Maybe A4 is better. It's kind of a tough call. The engine is also looking at E5. Anyways. So black played C5. Maybe this is an improvement. Now he has the retreat square here back on C6. Move 11 kicked him back. I mean, theoretically, C4 is a move here. But he's really going to lose a pawn. C4 takes. Again, in the spirit of Tisdall. Maybe black could try the same thing. Playing like D5. I don't know. Here, knight C6. Knight C3. And he takes on D4. White's control of the center looks good. Your bishop is a monster. It's just a monster now. I don't think he can do this. It's a disaster. Yeah, it looks like a Sicilian now. Move 11, play knight d5, but I don't really have any objections to this. I don't see why, like the normal recapture. It's just better for white. Just better for white. Maybe he tries something spicy like knight a5, bishop a2. Try to keep the pieces on the board. But ultimately white's bishop is extremely strong. And I think white is slightly better. So move 11 played this. Doesn't really change the situation, I guess. Still getting your pawn back. And you took with the pawn. Wow. So this is really interesting. Everybody in the world expects you to take with the bishop here. And you're slightly better. But move 11 thinks differently. He plays this, blocking his own bishop so the bishop could go back to the other diagonal. It's interesting, but objectively I think that black is probably okay. He'll probably be able to play g6 and defend his king side. But you do force his knight off sides. Yeah, I mean, my preference was to play it simple, you know, and just take. White is better. You're just slightly better in a normal position. Now I missed this move, knight e5. I wasn't happy with knight a5. This is like a double-edged try. If you take it twice, he has bishop f6, and both sides have this like killer protected pass pawn. It's probably hard for either side here. I really don't see how either side is going to win in this position. It's going to be tough. Probably drawish. But you could try knight takes d4. It's kind of risky though. I mean, our plan hinges on maybe f4, but it's going to weaken our position a lot. I suspect after this move you're better now. Even though the structure is symmetrical, you have space, you have potential for like knight c6, his knight's offside. Rook c8 looks good. He does have counterplay. Now what? Like bishop f4? Drops a piece. We have to move our bishop again. He played knight f5. We have to move something, because he's threatening to win a piece. Bishop e3, he's got this threat. That's the problem. Bishop e1 allows rook c1. So how can we play? You know, maybe this. It's really passive. Yeah, this is annoying. It looks like black has enough play now. Yeah. He's out of the box. I guess your move is as good as anything now. Knight f5. Acerbate. It's acerbate. He saw it. g6. Now my favorite square. h6 check. I like to get my knights trapped on h6 in the Roi de Pes when I can. King h8. Because you have knight g4 now. So king g7 isn't so hot. That looks good. Now you've got to move your rook. I don't like bishop e3. But you're very precariously placed. I would probably play rook b1 here. White is on the verge of overextended and his pieces are very precariously placed. I guess rook b1. Move 11 had enough of that knight, at the cost of losing a very important bishop, if you take it. Now, I don't know about knight e5. I mean, I'm black here. I'm happy that you trade. You know, go ahead and trade my knight with your bishop. I don't care. In fact, like, I'm not even sure what's happening here. What's happening here? I mean, knight b2? Am I missing something? He just has knight b2. None of black's pieces are unprotected. Like, I don't know what you can do. Yeah, you're just toast. You're lucky he didn't play that. I think you had to play like rook b1. Man, he's a strong 1700, but he missed knight takes b2. Man, this looks familiar. That's how I lost my knight on h6. It got disconnected by f4. Luckily, like, nobody's attacking h6 right now. g3, begging black to play f4. What are you going to do if he plays f4? Maybe you're okay. But I'm a little scared. But I guess we got to just accept it. This is protected. This is under attack. Got that. He doesn't have a move. There's craziness like queen 8, queen f6 or something. But I'm not sure that even works, because you could take you could take here on e5. Anyway, it's getting crazy. So he doesn't find f4. Bishop g5. A neat tactic. God. 1700. The funny thing is he didn't see knight takes b2, but he found bishop g5. Well, you have to play f4 and lose a piece, but you're losing a piece. This saves the piece. Wow. That's lucky. Takes. I would take with the pawn with black and think about whether or not I want to take that exchange. He just like takes with the bishop though. I mean, this is better for him. He has more options here if he takes with the pawn. You almost have to sacrifice the exchange. Maybe you're alright. What, like queen c7? Bishop f4. This isn't so clear. Very strong dark square bishop. So he just does it this way, which is kind of naive. And I'm not 100% sure if you're losing here. You're down an entire exchange, but your dark square bishop and your bishop pair is so strong that it might be not clear. Wow. I mean, I was just kind of like going to try to make a fortress, honestly, with this. Because I think your endgame chances are decent. Maybe you should just trade queens. It's amazing, but you might actually be better. Computer is calling it dead equality. Now it's coming around. White is better after trading queens. That's crazy. Yeah, your passed pawn and your bishop pair is so good. So he plays this and you avoided the exchange of queens, which is risky. He has queen takes b2. Man. Queen takes b2. So you should just allow the exchange of queens and play rook c1. And now you're threatening rook c7. Very, very good chances you could even win if he blunders. And your king can approach the center. So I don't know. He played rook e7, but what's going on here after queen b2? Your rook's attacked, your bishop's attacked. I think it's a problem. Do you have anything? You still have something? You can't drop a1 rook. Yeah, you're just lost. So that's it. You just instinctively avoided the ending, but here, you're lucky. If he had played, last thing, if he had played pawn takes e5 instead of bishop takes e5, I mean, what are you going to do? You're immediately okay after rook e5. There is a neat move. He could have played queen f6 right away. That's hard to find unless you've been doing tons of tactics puzzles. More accurate to do it that way. But once you get this position, you're okay. And then here, yeah, bishop f4 is, well, not the best move. You should have traded first. This apparently is even stronger. So you're too much, focused on like you can't trade queens in that position. I think because you're down exchange. But that bishop pair is brutal. In conjunction with his passed pawn, the other rook behind, and your king coming toward the center. You're completely in the game. I would probably prefer to be white in this position than black. You're basically, your practical chances are actually better than black's because of that passed pawn. It would be easier for black to screw up and lose than for white. Anyway, let's see what happened. So queen c7, terrible blunder. Black misses queen b2, and then rook c1. Now, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I guess after queen b2, bishop d6 is no longer as strong. I mean, honestly, this still might be a move. Because additionally, he has rook e2 and mating threats. This might actually be a problem. Like if you were to play, hypothetically, bishop d6, right? He doesn't take the bishop, he plays rook e2. And suddenly, white is almost getting mated, or is getting mated in this position. Because there's no way to defend g2. I think it's a near disaster. Yeah, white's lost. So what do you do after, again, queen b2? You've got queen c3 check, the magic endgame. Always the endgame gives you a chance to survive here. Interesting. This is not a good version, not as good a version though, obviously. I mean, in the original endgame variation, you've got a pawn very far advanced there. He doesn't get b2. Yeah, the final position was here. We're just looking at this variation. Let's see. In the game, d5, queen e5, here, 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 here. And I'm looking at here. Queen takes b2. Even this is still better for white. Plays h5, h4. Black is winning. He blundered his queen, okay, in time pressure. But anyway, it was an interesting game. A lot of interesting points there. Thanks for sharing, Move 11. We'll be back tomorrow. I gotta go, guys. Thanks, everybody, for your generous support. we will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. CEST here on lichess and Twitch. Alright, that's it, guys. Thanks for the Ponda. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. CST. Thanks for the games. Thanks, guys. Great to see you. Bye-bye.